But thank you, Hamid, for that presentation. And in a way, the intention was not to scare, was not to impress, but that's reality. And sometimes people think, innovation is some sort of science fiction story, but actually, we are living in a moment in time when innovation or people thinking and working outside their comfort zones is vital for medicine and other disciplines. I'm looking at Joe. He's monitoring if there are any questions within the virtual world and virtual universe. You have 10, 15 minutes of questions. Can we start with the people who are in the virtual environment?
And there was a big round of online applause for your talk and lots of positive comments, Hamid. 3 questions so far. The first we have is interested to know what the potential risks would be if the wrong pathways are stimulated in the brain when trying to address the area for cravings and addiction.
Sorry, we seem to only have one microphone. So,
yeah, that's definitely an important issue in terms of the safety and making sure that brain is plastic, right? But plasticity is not always a good thing. We can have dark plasticity. So we can push brain to a dark spot. And that is the reason that we are very careful in terms of how we are doing these modulations. The good thing about the technologies that we are using, they usually kind of massage brain a little bit towards something. But if you want to get there in terms of making a more long-lasting effect, you always need to do it again and again and again and again. And meanwhile, combining that with multiple different behavioral intervention to boost up that sort of minor neuroplastic changes that you are making. And if you realize that you are not moving towards the right direction, if you stop, it usually goes back because brain has a very fantastic balance keeping mechanisms. So when you make a little bit of perturbance in one direction, if you are not going to keep doing that over time and combine that with the right type of interventions, it's not going to long last. So that is the hope that we have in terms of hopefully we are not making kind of long-lasting effect. And that is sometimes when I sit together with those who are doing psychedelic research, and the psychedelic research provides opportunities for you to open up doors of neuroplasticity and make significant neuroplastic changes very fast. And it is interesting because people say, okay, one dose of psilocybin is just changed the way that I was thinking about something. And it is when they talk about those experiences, I usually get a little bit scared in terms of, oh my goodness, if you really do not know what you are doing because you are opening doors of neuroplasticity, you need to make sure that you are driving that to the right direction. In our field of neuromodulation, with the level of energy that we put inside the brain, it's not that fast and it's not that strong, which is good and bad. So the complex part is you need to do it over the time. Even for example, for depression that we are doing TMS for depression, which is now a mainstream treatment, we need to do it something like 30 sessions. We need to put at least 180,000 pulses in the brain to be able to make the changes towards something that could last for several months to kind of help for depression. So safety is always an important issue, but it's just not something that we are just changing everything overnight.
Thank you, Hamid. So message is, you know what you're doing.
We hope so, at least.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a chance, there's a percentage.
I try to show it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, there is a science behind that. Another question, and then we'll go and ask the.
A question: could AI be used to analyze patients' language, for example, in texts or emails, for early detection of cravings?
That is exactly an idea that we are working on right now. In terms of, I mean, traditionally we are using questionnaires, right? Even when we are asking people about their depression, we are using questionnaires. But now AI can just basically estimate the emotions that you have if you talk for a few minutes. And to my best knowledge, I haven't seen any publication, somebody tried to train an AI model based on the kind of the language of people who are experiencing craving. But that is definitely something that will happen. One thing that we are doing right now, we have a set of cues related to drugs that we show people to activate their craving when we want to find the circuit that is involved in craving, right? So it's something like a challenge test. So we put them inside the scanner, we show them those images that are from like pipes, meth, opioids, all those kind of paraphernalia related to substances, and then we activate those networks that are involved in drug craving. But those cues are not personalized, so there are general cues. Now we are asking people to just rate few cues outside the scanner, and then we are working on an AI platform that generates individualized cues for each individual based on the initial rating that they had in terms of, I like this, I didn't like that. And then it's something like when you are using kind of online platform, Disney Plus, kind of Apple Plus, all those things, you, based on the movies that you have seen so far, it starts to recommend you new things. So it just works like that. But it just at a certain point, it goes towards that, assessing people and providing information. But meanwhile, now we are realizing the complexities of using AI as well. In the US, several states started to ban any sort of AI-based therapy. And do you know what is the reason? And there are multiple cases that they have been interacting with an AI therapist. And because the algorithms are designed to be sort of supportive, providing further information, and it can go wrong in a way that just support the ideas that they have for suicide. And there are, unfortunately, multiple cases of suicide when they have been interacting with AI-based therapists. And now they are realizing, and I was discussing with Alex of cases that we are realizing that they have delusional tendencies and paranoid ideas. They start to work with, kind of interact with chatbots, and then they receive confirmation from them in terms of that could be right, you can consider that, and then they start to develop, even kind of enhance their hallucinations. It gets really complex. So there are definitely lots of challenges in using those technologies that we need to be very aware of. Yep.
Can I take this opportunity to actually target one member of the group here, Ray, who's just finishing his PhD in computer science, and he can resonate with what you're saying. Any thoughts, any observations from what Hamed has just said?
Thanks, Alex, for giving me the chance to have a chance to speak with the topic. It's really unexpected for me to have a talk suddenly, so I'm a little bit nervous. I'm sorry. I really like your whole idea of how you envision AI in this treatment. And actually, I think what you just talked is really SOTA research, covered many core challenges related to how to responsibly develop AI for these social studies or like engaging with vulnerable communities. And my work is more about developing an AI application to support people who use drugs, who provide harm reduction information to them. And I indeed encounter many challenges that you just talked. And I really like your research. Yeah, that's my thanks.
So that's fantastic. So you can see that people here in US and Andrew are developing those sort of algorithms. And we just need to bring our forces together, and we need to have people like Alex, who has the vision that I can collaborate with somebody from computer science department and somebody from business school and somebody from the other school and bring them together, because we need to work together. Without working together, that's not going to happen. So all those solutions could happen if we bring our forces together, and that is going to make a huge impact in the community. So that is the hope that we have.
Thank you, Ray. Sorry for that, but that's good practice for your Viva. Any questions from the real people here in the room? Any thoughts? Yes, Lorna? If you can introduce yourself as well. Oh, sorry.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lorna Nisbet. I'm from Leverhulme Research Centre for Forensic Science at the University of Dundee. I was just wondering, how do we make sure when we're doing these innovations that people remain talking to other people? Because obviously within individuals that are addiction or going through that process, they can feel really disconnected from society and as if they're not even worthy of recovery. So how do we make sure that we're doing that bit to support them as well?
That's a really, really good question. And one thing that might be interesting, I'm just submitting a large grant for a new package that we tested before, but we are kind of extending a large trial on a brain rehabilitation package that we have specific brain exercises that we do in group setting with patients kind of sitting around the room, and they discuss together about their solutions and they compete with each other, and it's just a fun experience. And one of the feedback that I received from one of the kind of initial reviewers from my own department was a paper and pencil package is not that innovative. You can just make it computerized and give everybody a tablet and they can just do it from their own home. And I told them that is exactly what I'm not interested to make. I'm just interested to make a package that they can sit around at kind of a table in a room, interact with each other, and use those papers and pencil and write and color and do all those things together in that room. So I did, yes, definitely I can make it kind of computerized, and even I know how to make it individualized and use AI inside and make the grant application very fancy, and everybody would, oh, it is a very innovative idea. But it is not, I mean, the whole idea is just bringing people together and make them working together. And if it is not going to happen, as a clinician, I'm realizing how it's important. And it's just, and you realize over time, those who have been successful to be in recovery for a long period of time, it doesn't happen if you are not a part of a community. It doesn't happen if you are not a part of a peer support group. You need to have those social interactions. And we are realizing the only natural reward that could replace drug reward is just social rewards. Nothing can replace that. So if you want to have people who can replace the drug rewards, it's something healthy. The only healthy thing is just a social interaction. We need to keep them. And so this is an important part of the process. So we need to sometimes resist against some of the ideas that, okay, if you say something cutting edge and AI based is just going to be better. It's not always the case.
Thank you. Do we have one last question? Oh, we have two suddenly. Yeah. Again, if you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm just an undergraduate medical student.
I'm here to answer all the questions. So I'm here for the next 2-3 days. I would love to further interact, and that is the reason I'm here, to see people in person and make connections. So looking forward to those who didn't have chance to talk. Let's just further discuss, please.
Hi, so I'm Kavya. I'm an undergraduate medical student here. I'm just really excited with the whole idea of neuroscience and its interaction with medicine. And my friend Gabby here is also in the School of Business, so we've actually been talking amongst ourselves about the intersection between the different subject specialties. But what I wanted to ask is, aside from computing in the AI sector, what other subject specialties are you looking to work with sort of going on and as you're continuing your research?
So that's a very, very good question. First of all, I'm really happy that you are here, and just fantastic. I saw a few other undergrad or grad students before the meeting, and I'm definitely looking forward to sit together, further discuss the ideas. I can tell you, I have been in the field of addiction research for the last 20 years when I was in the medical school and I was an undergrad. I can tell you it has never happened to me so far that somebody come with a specialty in any area who is interested to work with us in the field of addiction, and I couldn't find something that we can work together on. My wife is a dentist, and we met each other when I was in kind of medical school. She was in the dentistry school, and she was interested to do something in the field of addiction. And I was thinking, okay, how can we do something? And then we started to develop a specific research on oral and dental issues in people with substance use disorder. And we followed that with the community dentistry department in our university. And now some of the most highly cited publications that I have in my CV are coming from that sort of line of work that I developed. I was not thinking I'm going to work with the dentistry department. And now, because they are one of the first things that people have done in the field of oral dental hygiene issues with people with substance use disorder, they receive lots of citations. And so you can see that things that you cannot imagine, people would start to realize, because we are all talking about human, and addictive behavior is something even beyond just the substances. It goes to our eating, it goes to how we are using internet, how we are interacting with others. All those things are within the sort of addictive behavior kind of real. And when you start looking into that, you realize, oh my goodness, all of us have something about kind of those dependencies, those addictive behaviors that would be relevant. And there are lots of opportunities to work on those areas.
Thank you, Hamed. Can we show appreciation for Hamed? Thank you. And as you said, an open invitation for anyone else who has questions. We're going to have a comfort break. That's okay. There's teas and coffees and water, but I'm trying to remember where the bathrooms are. The bathrooms are there and there and there. Okay. Lots of people know where they are. And then we reconvene if that's okay with everyone, in 5 minutes. That's okay. So it will be a quick comfort break. You promise you'll come back, because we have another speaker who's going to be very exciting as well as inspiration.